So you're an adult with autism. What's that like?
Challenging. Very challenging. I have moments where I have massive meltdowns and, I see the world differently, so I'm taking on so much information all at once, and it's a lot. It can be very overwhelming. But if I hadn't had the tools that I do to this day, I think I would have more meltdowns and more challenges. And yeah, it's the ability to know something before it's going to happen, and that can be overwhelming because you're getting information that sometimes you don't want to receive, and that's quite challenging. It can be draining, it can be exhausting and fatiguing, and it's learning how to manage that and cope with that so it doesn't disable you, rather than actually you can use that as an ability. But yeah, it has been incredibly challenging.
And what are the main traits of your autism?
Yeah, I would say lots of information coming in at once, just so much information, so many thoughts. I'm able to pick up on people's thoughts, feelings and emotions, so I often sponge that and I'll take it into my body. Being put on the spot is challenging, being able to read information and actually go in and be able to process things. Sometimes I have a massive delay, and it takes me some time to actually understand what I've read or what I've been listening to, and my mind just goes everywhere. But I'm able to multitask, and like a magnificent magnitude, and there's I wouldn't say pros and cons, but I would say it's about shifting perspective around it.
Did you always know you were a special kid when little? And what's your first memories of you finding out, okay, right, I'm different, I do feel different?
Yeah, thank you for that. I feel like I've always been a different kid, and I always felt like the one that was just weird and different and wanted to be on my own, be left to do my work on my own, and I would always try to fit in with people at school, but found that I struggled with that. So I used to go and spend a lot of time in the fields or in the playground, just on my own, just being in my own imagination and loving it, and thinking, hang on, maybe this is something wrong. Maybe there's something wrong with me, because I used to pick up on people's judgments, and I used to perceive that and think that there was something wrong with me. But I knew there was this awareness of, I'm really different. And yeah, I was very isolated for a long time, and I have been very isolated through my childhood years.
Were you left isolated, or you wanted to be on your own?
I wanted to be on my own. Yeah, that was definitely the energy that I was putting out. I was like, do not come near me. I can't cope with too much connection, too much sensory overload. It was just too much to be able to build relationships for me, or something I really struggled with.
Do you still struggle with it?
Not so much now. I'm more discerning with who I connect with and who I let into my life. Whereas before that, I guess I was very open. I love everyone. I want to be around everyone, but not everyone wants to be around me. So that's been challenging to have discernment, but yes.
And do you struggle with, when you say let people in my life,
Yes.
do you struggle with a relationship as well?
Yes, I have had many struggling relationships. Yeah, I've always gone for the wrong person, or when I say the wrong person, it's not necessarily wrong. They've been lessons to me, spiritual lessons. But I've always gone for people that needed to be healed, and I needed to save them, and I needed to help them or heal them in some way. And that's not always that's been at the detriment of my energy.
Did you face any challenges during childhood?
Yes, I did. Not only did I have like a birth trauma experience with my mum, which was incredibly challenging, so I spent a lot of time in and out of school, which was hard enough as it was, trying to come into school, fit in, and then also trying to fit in and learn and actually study and pay attention in the classroom, because it was different. There was so much going on physically, mentally, emotionally. Yeah, challenges one after the other.
You also have ADHD. Could you
Yes.
describe what ADHD is?
Yes, so this reality calls it attention deficit, but I don't think it's attention deficit personally. My perception of this is multi-awareness, multi-dimensional perception. So it's this ability to perceive, know, and receive information from everywhere, all at once. Multiple realities, the ability to be able to tap into multiple realities and just receive so much information. So there's, information coming in, I can read people. So that's how I would perceive ADHD, the ability to know information just like that.
Do you ever get overwhelmed by ADHD?
Yeah, I do. Actually, this week's been really intense for me, especially yesterday. I had sensory overload. I actually had to wear sunglasses indoors. Never had to do that before, actually. So, and there was a business show that I went to a couple of days ago as well, and I came home and I just crashed, and I wasn't aware of like how much that was a lot for me to take in. There's so many people around, and I'm just such an empathic sponge. I sponge everyone's energy, and yeah, it can be very draining, fatiguing. So yeah.
And when you tell people you have ADHD, how you want them to react?
Be curious, to ask questions, a bit like, okay, tell me a bit more about that, rather than making assumptions that there's something wrong with me or like a judgment that I need to be fixed.
Do you use any techniques or tricks to deal with ADHD symptoms?
I do, thank you. Yeah, I am a theta healer and Access Bar's consciousness facilitator. So these are two tools that enable me to be able to clear heavy, dense energies and reset my nervous system so I can function in the world, but not just survive and actually thrive. So I don't get weighed down and slowed down by the densities of really heavy emotions. Yeah, and I would not be doing this if I hadn't had these tools.
And have you got any like a practical technique that you've been using on a daily basis?
Yes, so meditation and expansion. So being able to expand your energy out rather than all the noise of everything going on, trying to burden you and compact you. What I do is I just ask my energy to expand, and then I'm able to actually meet that energy and meet the noise. So it's a kind of shift of, rather than going into contraction and wanting to hide and shut down, it's this ability to able to open up and actually receive more without getting bombarded or drained from it. Yeah.
And I know that sometimes people with autism or ADHD struggle with eye contact. Do you struggle with it as well?
Yeah. Something I noticed actually over the last couple of years, I was like, why can't I look at the person? I really struggled with it. And I only recognised that because I was doing some a photo shoot with someone, and I kept looking down, and I still do it to this day, and I'm starting to be like, hang on, what is this? What am I trying to resist? What am I trying to hold back and not acknowledge? And it's also information. It's kind of overwhelming to be able to really look at someone and receive all that information from someone. So I'm trying, but yeah, I do struggle, especially when there's like someone that I like romantically. I'll be like, oh my God, just want to like completely, look away.
So it will be more like on the romantic setting?
Yes, yeah, it makes it worse.
Okay, and how about friendship or working setting?
That's easier. Yeah, a lot easier. I don't have as many issues, definitely more in a romantic setting. Yeah.
I'm really interested to know more about your job and your healing business.
Thank you. Yeah, where do I start? I would say the reason I got into healing and energy healing and my business now is because I did suffer really badly, chronically, mentally, with anxiety issues, panic attacks, depression, because I really felt like I didn't belong in the world. I felt so different and weird that I didn't belong and I wanted to leave. And excuse me.
It's okay. Take all your time.
Felt like I wanted to leave here and I didn't belong. And it still brings up so much because we don't actually belong. We're not actually part of this reality. You know, we are different species, and it can be hard to actually feel like we do exist and we do belong. So yeah, I got into this path of healing because I wanted to help myself to not feel like I wanted to leave. And to this day, I'm really grateful that I can be here and belong and
thank
not
you for
want to
that.
leave.
Thank you for staying with us, and you're worth it, and you need it.
Yeah, thank you.
You're also a photographer, and you want to bring photography into the neurodiverse world.
Yes.
Any idea how you're gonna do that?
It's a crazy idea, but yeah, full of crazy ideas. I would love to gather all the most incredible beings together. People maybe are hiding like I once was, and I want them to go, do you know what? I'm incredible and I'm ready. I don't care how much fear I have, how much I don't like my body, how much I struggle. Let's be brave and courageous to come together and do a photo shoot and just embrace who we are. So if you do resonate with this journey and story and you've been through your own challenges, I would encourage you to try something different, as I did, and come and have some photos taken, see how liberated you feel after. No one's judging you, we're only judging ourselves. That's the thing to know. And
that sounds fabulous, and I would love to take part of it.
Please
Please count on me.
Can't wait. So exciting.
Morgana, we just found this bookstore which is located in the boat. How cool is it?
It's so amazing. How did we get so lucky?
You mentioned earlier birth trauma.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about it?
Yes, I was born with a condition called amniotic band syndrome. But really I was a bit of a fidget baby. I was trying to put my hands through my mum's amniotic sac when I was in the womb. And I was born with fingers, but they were kind of attached, so I couldn't actually get any functionality to my hands as a child. So I had lots of operations to separate these fingers.
How many operations did you have?
6 or 7, I believe. I've been operated on through my feet, and I have scars on my hips to take bones out, and the surgeons did their magic.
Does it cause you any sensory impairment?
Yes, it does, because in the winter when it gets super cold, as you can probably tell right now, they are kind of like a little bit bluer than the average hands. Yeah, my hands get super sensitive for circulation challenges and things. And in the winter I get chilblains sometimes. It's not fun, they start to hurt. So I already have skin sensitivity anyway, but it's amplified actually because of the circulation issues. And I was also born with a speech impediment and couldn't hear as well when I was a child, so I had to get over that and have speech therapy to be able to speak today and hear today. And now I'm very clairaudient. I have a very high level of clairaudience.
Did you have any challenges with this condition being an adult?
Yeah, I did actually. It held me back for a long time. As a kid, I really struggled to feel capable of doing things. Actually, the only thing I was ever great at school was art. And as I moved into adult education, I was great at art. It's where I thrived. And then guess what? I actually became a massage therapist.
No way.
Yeah, which was amazing. So actually, that was my first
There's nothing you can't
business.
do with your hands.
Absolutely.
And tell me about more massage therapist.
So I have magic hands, as I've been told.
see that?
I always went to college thinking, how the hell was I going to be a massage therapist? But knowing full well that I had an ability with my hands, and my hands were different, but there was an ability there.
Is it okay if I take a closer picture of your hands?
Sure.
Thank you.